Good evening, and thanks for watching CTV Sports. I'm Patrick Enslow.
And I'm Travis Green. How about those Rammies? The CSU football team was out east to take on the Eagles from Boston College. This was not a game the Rams should have won, but hey, stranger things have happened. BC was coming off a big win after beating then number 9 USC 2 weeks ago. If you were watching last week, you heard all the doom and dismay that we forecasted, but I'm happy to say that Patty and I were dead wrong. The Rams showed up with nothing to lose, and they played like it. Well, after Grayson gave up 2 interceptions early in the game, but down 14-0 late in the first half, the offense kicked into gear, drove down with a nice touchdown to Rashard Higgins right there. What a catch. The Rams couldn't ever find the lead, though. This is until a do-or-die situation on 4th down, 60 seconds left. Grayson finds Charles Lovett. I gotta love me some Lovett there with that touchdown. Look
Chuck
at
and
that.
love.
Barely getting his feet in right there. It doesn't get much better than that, Pat.
I know. It was a great one to watch.
Yeah.
And going all the way to Boston and winning on the road. I mean, it was crazy. Started off slow in usual CSU fashion, picked it up, and big win on the road. Big things.
Gotta love the steal, 24-21. Great game to watch. We gotta talk about the defense. The defense really held Tyler Murphy in his reins. He's a guy that was 500 yards rushing heading into this game, the 5th ranked rushing attack in the nation, and CSU really held him down.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best quarterbacks offensively, stats-wise, in the NCAA. And we were questioning our defense, and they stepped it up big with an interception in the 3rd quarter that completely changed the momentum and some nice defensive stops by Aaron Davis and Max Morgan. I mean, they really stepped it up, and they answered the call.
They absolutely did. And we got to talk about the balanced offense that Jim McElwain put out there for the CSU Rams. Garrett Grayson, it looked rough at the start. He was really struggling with those 2 interceptions to start off the game, but he got right back out there and was getting the job done. And the running game, D. Hart, 10 carries, 117 yards. Treyas Gerald's 8 carries, 40 yards. They really made the most out of their carries, and it looked like they couldn't be stopped out there. If they wanted to run over somebody, they were doing it.
Yeah, it was great to see. I mean, that offense just really flipped the switch. And Grayson, he was getting hit. That offensive line really wasn't protecting him too well. He's getting out, kind of grabbing that collarbone, but he played through it like a senior quarterback, coming up big in that second half with 2 TDs, scrambling. I mean, 4th down, it doesn't get much better than that.
A gutsy game from Grayson. We got to talk about 2 other seniors. Charles Lovett, 1 catch in this game, but the biggest catch. You can't picture a bigger catch than that. And then Bernard Blake. The game was it was going both ways, and Bernard Blake with a huge interception in the 4th quarter. It gave the Rams a chance to pull off this victory.
And like I said before, that was really the momentum changer, because slowly going in that second half, the CSU offense was picking it up, and then in the 3rd and 4th quarter, they played well. They started getting their offense going, and then that defense, that 3rd quarter interception, translated to even more offense. And we saw some big runs from D. Hart as well down the stretch, and it was great to see.
Just a great game from the Rams. Not many were expecting it, but now we got to look forward to Tulsa. Tulsa, polar opposite from Boston College. Boston College is a running team. Tulsa likes to air it out.
Yeah, 1,000+ passing yards from their quarterback. So that secondary really needs to be on their toes. And this is a team that can really maybe sneak up on them, because this team lost to Texas State at home. And when you lose at home to a team like Texas State, that's always going to be rough. So you know Tulsa is going to be awake, and they're going to be ready to play. They're coming to CSU, a team they beat last year, and they're going to be ready to play.
And CSU's now in a position that we haven't seen them in the past. They've got a target on their back. 3-1 after the big win over Boston College. Teams are going to be gunning for them and giving them their best shot.
Yeah, especially with games like Air Force and Boise State shaking up this Mountain West, and Nevada looking good. I mean, later down the season, Boise State has to go to Nevada. So, I mean, anything can happen the rest of this season, and I definitely think CSU's in contention for that Mountain West title.
And after that big Boise State loss, and now we're seeing, could the Rams go 9-1? Could it happen? Could they pull off, run the table here, and end with 1 loss in the season?
Yeah, they're about to go into the gauntlet of their schedule. Once they get past Tulsa, they have to play teams like Nevada and Utah State. Nevada's probably going to be the roughest because it's going to be on the road. Utah State's at home. They really need that victory. If they can get through that, I'm expecting a 9-1 season. Going out on a limb, Trav.
Going out on a limb.
How about you?
I think they're going to run the table here. I think they might get the loss to Nevada. That's the team that scares me. Cody Fajardo, a really great quarterback out there. It's a scary game to look forward to. But we just saw CSU can pull off anything, it seems like.
Yeah, and he runs the option as well, and they were able to stop that against BC. So, I mean, that is a positive.
It's in their hands. Well, it must be time for a Kit Kat because we need a break.
Gotta love some good old-fashioned product placement. We've got a volleyball up next.
Don't go away.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back. You're watching CTV Sports. On the road again, CSU Volleyball continued its dominance on the road, beating Boise and Utah State, only dropping one set on the week. After dropping the first set to Utah State, the Rams roared back to win the next three. Acacia Andrews had a career night for the Rams with 9 blocks and 9 kills. CSU then headed to Boise, where the Rams have never lost a set in school history. The team continued this trend, sweeping the Broncos in 3 straight sets. Marley Reynolds led the way in the third set, putting the nail in the coffin, scoring all 4 of the Rams' final points. All attackers hit above 300 in the game. CSU will return to Moby this Saturday for the Mountain West home opener against UNLV. This will be the first home game since September 9th. Travis, what'd you see? Long road trip for these Rams, and they answered the bell.
They absolutely did. And we're seeing the depth from this CSU volleyball team. Marley Reynolds has now passed Kelsey Snyder, who had a lot of accolades at the start of the season for kills per set. She passed her, and that's not a shot at Kelsey Snyder whatsoever. That's just showing how deep the CSU volleyball team is.
Yeah, you didn't even hear names like Kelsey Snyder or Deidre Foss on this road trip. It was like Acacia Andrews, Marley Reynolds, and it was just great to see other players stepping up. I've said it all season. Any player on this team can step up and help them win, and I think we've seen it all season. And they could roll past the rest of their schedule. They do need to keep their head on straight because it's the rest of the schedule could be easy to just maybe fall asleep or sleep on some of these teams.
We've definitely talked about that. It's one of those trap games where they're a little overconfident. But you got to love this team's chances to run the tables. Yeah. On Friday, the CSU soccer team began conference play against the UNLV Rebels. The Rams were unable to get the ball past the net and wound up losing 1-0. But Sunday was a different story. CSU was able to pick up their first Mountain West victory of the year against Nevada. Junior forward Gianna Bertana scored the game's only goal in the 75th minute. The Rams are now 3-7 on the season. We're going to take another quick break, but coming up next, me and my cool cat, Pat, are going to toss you our predictions of playoff baseball. Spoiler alert, I didn't pick the Rockies. We'll be right back.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Hey, welcome back. September is wrapping up, which means playoff baseball is right around the corner. The wild card matchups are Tuesday and Wednesday. P. Funkalicious and yours truly have your picks for who will dethrone the Red Sox as the World Series champions. Patty Cake, how do you think the AL is going to shape up this October?
It's going to be a fun one. And the first game I'm going to start with is Kansas City versus Oakland. Yep. Oakland kind of stumbling into the playoffs.
They did.
And Kansas City's going to be rocking. They got their guy, Big Game James, on the mound. And think back, they traded away one of their best prospects in their system, Will Myers, for Big Game James. And this is what they're paying him the big bucks for. And that's what that trade was for. A lot of people question it. It looks like it's going to pay off for him. And I got him winning this game.
Okay. What's it looking like the rest of the bracket there?
Well, I got to go with Baltimore, my Orioles. Their offense is looking great. One of the best pitching staffs since the All-Star break. Buck Showalter, a master of the bullpen, going out getting Andrew Miller. They have some of the best left-handed arms in the bullpen. And I think they're going to overpower Detroit. And I mean, they faced some of those guys on the staff earlier in the season. But
they really turned that rotation around this season.
Yeah. And then I'm going over with KC and LA. I like LA in this one. The Angels are looking great. Mike Trout's hitting on all cylinders. He's top 4 in 3 of the AL stats to end the season. Another great season for him. First postseason. I'm so excited to see him in there. Who you got in the AL, Trav?
In the AL, I've got the first time in the playoffs since 1985, those Royals, and as you said, Big Game James. I think he's going to pull off the victory against the A's here, who really stumbled, as you said, into the year. It was really surprising to see them fall off so poorly after getting the John Lester trade. A lot of questions around that trade. So I got Kansas City winning that one. And different than you, I have the Tigers pulling off the win against the Orioles. I think that pitching staff is going to be the upside for the Tigers in this one. Getting David Price at the end of the trading season, they got Price, and I think he's going to do a great job leading this team in the playoffs. But then I got, just as you, the Angels. I think Mike Trout, deserving of an MVP. I think he's going to be one of those big superstars for years to come, and he's one of the new faces. Derek Jeter just left, so maybe it's time for Trout to have a history-setting playoffs here and make his name known.
Oh, I know. And I think I'm just so excited to watch him play. And I think, like you said, it kind of fill in Derek Jeter's shoes, maybe be the Derek Jeter of the West Coast. Well, now that we got the AL out of the way, who you got in the NL, Trav?
In the NL, in the wild card game, I've got those Pirates pulling off the victory. I know PNC Park will be rocking, and I don't think those Giants will pull off the victory against those Pirates. Andrew McCutchen, he's just one of those best players that everybody knows now. His name is out there, and he's a great player, and I think he's going to lead this team in this game. I've got the Cardinals pulling off a big upset here because of Clayton Kershaw. You can almost pencil in a victory every time Kershaw's out there pitching, but I think, I'm going to make a bold prediction, Adam Wainwright, if it weren't for Kershaw, he'd be up for Cy Young this year. I think Wainwright's going to get a victory against Kershaw, and I think the Cardinals are going to lead that momentum and pull off a victory against those Dodgers. And then I got the Nationals. I think the Nationals are the team to beat in the NL. They've got the pitching. They've got the hitting. It's going to be real fun to watch this team play out because they've been ready to pull off a victory for a while now.
For sure. And I'm just like you in that one-game playoff. I love Volquez on the mound. 18 scoreless innings going into this one-game playoff. They just surpassed 2 million fans for the first time in franchise history. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just going to be great to see out there in Pittsburgh. So I got them winning that. And then I have them beating Washington. They're just a team of destiny. And you have players like James Harrison going for a batting title. And Polanco hasn't even tapped into his potential yet. So, I mean, this is a team to watch. I got them going to the NLCS. And then on the other side, I got the Dodgers, and then I have the Dodgers winning. So I got a West Coast World Series between the Dodgers and the Angels, and I have the Angels winning the World Series. Who you got, Trav?
I've got the Nationals and the Angels, 2 young studs, Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
If it comes to that.
Well, that's all the time we have for you this week.
At the end of last week's show, we predicted that CSU win over BC, so we're going to go out on a limb and with even more bold predictions.
I think Grayson will throw for 550 yards on Saturday.
And I think more than 6,000 fans will show up for the game.
Calling them out. We'll see you next week to find out more of these predictions come true.
Have a great night.